What's up, Cowboy Nation? What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy, Roadstar Sports, coming to you live. Yeah, I got my headpiece on. It's as a trucker, man. We never can get rid of this thing, to be frank and honest with you. Um, but as I will mention, I know I said 7:30, but hey, things happen. Food is got to fuel that body, and we're just trying to get things back in proper perspective, where it needs to be. And I'm trying to hustle as well to try to get you all the information and the content that you need. So, for those of you that haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, like the content, and let's try to get these numbers up, because I'm the last Mohican. It seems that that is the case with me. As I said, I'm gonna bring you some more content. Shotty to Hotty was in press conference today, roughly about 5 or so hours ago, and just want to get some feedback in terms of what his mindset is, what is up for the foreseeable game coming forward to the Vikings will be coming in town to Dallas, and see what's up ahead. Let's try to get an injury report. Let's see how Shotty to Hotty is feeling on today. So let's get at it and see what's happening, man. I'm sure there's going to be something impactful that will be said or that has already been said. Hey, let's dig in and see what our coach, Shotty to Hotty, has to say about today. Let's dig.
Clarence DLLS Cowboys. Coach, Monday, were you cheering for the Chargers, and who did you have cheering it out? Was that Al, or did he come back and cheer with you? Or just,
I actually did see the last couple minutes of the game, but I was watching. I wasn't cheering. And we have to control. We got to control, but when the ball was intercepted, I was a little happy.
Does that change anything? I know Jerry we got a real shot now. Does it give y'all just another extra punch that, hey, this thing is real, we can make it happen?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was real all along, anyways. And you should never know in this business. I've been around too much to, try to.
I mean, first of all, man, look, we got to get out of the doubting our teams, and get into the mindset and I know a lot of Cowboy fans get a lot of flack about it, from our peers or some of the other fans or supporters of their team, whether it is social media, whether it is analysts or a pundit or whoever the case may be. We gotta ride with our team, man. We the cards are dealt. This is what we have, and we got to go out and try to make it work, man. We got to try to go get it some kind of way, and it is there for us to go get it. I mean, I like Shotty's mindset and his attitude, So let's see. Let's just see what these next 4 games will bring, because there's a lot of implications, a lot of things that can take place for the Cowboys to have a serious chance. Now, they're just not going to tell you the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs, but we have a significant chance in making a playoff. Don't let the 8% fool you. We just got to handle business. Win 4, and I guarantee you things will look pretty decent for the Cowboys. What we got going on? What do we have going on? This is not good, ladies and gentlemen. This is not good. Not good. Not good at all here. Yeah, not good, bro. Not good. trying to figure out some things. Give me a second.
You should never know in this business. I've been around too much to, try to figure it all out and all the playoff predictors and things like that. We're just focused on having a great day today. It's Competition Wednesday, and we'll have the pads on out there today and get back to running around and striking each other a little bit. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
From an injury standpoint, can you give us an update on Diggs and Guyton, and what is, well, Diggs, Guyton, Lamb for sure, but what does Diggs need to do? Last week he told us he was healthy, he felt better than he felt at the start of the season. What does he need to do to get on the field?
Well, first, a couple things. With Guyton, we'll see how he moves around today. He's making progress, but we'll see. He's got to get out there and do football. CD is progressing nicely through the process, the protocol. I think he's got one or two more things he's got to get done, but I feel good about that. And in terms of Treyvon, I mean, he's still in the ramp-up period. I think he does feel healthy. I know he wants to play, but at the end of the day, it's we have to do what we think is in the best interest of not just him, but also the football team. And when you miss time, the ramp-up period is good not just for your body, but for your mind and figuring out some of the defense. And there's some new faces in the huddle and things like that. So.
So if we take a look at and listen to what he is saying, he's generally saying that, if you knew that a lot of guys on defense was having issues with grasping the zone coverage defense, understanding the terminology of Eberflus. And I've said it before that Eberflus is going to have to do something different to get these guys playing the way that, football is accustomed of seeing defenses play, especially this late in the season. And so Diggs is one of those guys that, likes to play in a scheme a certain way. And he has now been, from what I'm grasping, I don't want to say called out, but I think that as a professional, there are just some things that you are not in control of, and there are some things that you are in control of. And learning the playbook and executing what the playbook is providing information to you to access and obtain. Those are things that you can control, and they're looking for you to implement those things on the football field. Now, of course, we know that there are some theatrics. We know that there are some issues. We know that there are some gray areas that need to be worked out. Got it. But at the end of the day, they in other words, what I'm getting is they're looking for Treyvon Diggs to be a professional and go about business. As a professional football player, there's a time for business discussions, money, your happiness, things of that nature, whether we're going to keep you, whether you want to stay or whether you want to go, though there's a time. But right now, you're under a contractual agreement to perform and produce. And, his coattail is being pulled, that he may, in fact, hold up to his obligation contractually. So, of course, there's just some babysitting that he's about to allude to or will allude to, I'm sure, as relates to Diggs.
Again, love him as a player, but ultimately he's got to show us he's ready to do everything the right way.
Brian Todd Archer with ESPN. When you say show us doing everything the right way, is that beyond is that in the meeting rooms and things like that as well, or
everything? Just consistency through everything. I mean, he's no different than Dak Prescott or Jake Ferguson or Kenny Clark. Just continue to do everything the right way. And I thought last week was a good first step, and hopefully this week's even better step. And if it is, then you'll see him out there.
Your run game efficiency, I think it's in the Detroit or the Philly game, it was 41 yards on 2 carries. KC was 60-something yards on 2 carries. How do you get the efficiency of your run game back to where you want it, where it's not just big plays or carrying the day?
Yeah.
Well, you see, here's what I mentioned a day or two ago. In fact, I may have said it a few hours ago. The Dallas Cowboys are making the game a little too hard for them. Remember, I was talking about how it seems like they're doing some things that they wasn't doing 3 games ago. They are making this thing harder than it really has to be. Get back to the basics. Get back to what it was that you were doing 3 games ago that put you guys on a winning streak. This is not the time to start being too cute. This is not the time. And like I said, I had my issues with the play calling of Shotty to Hotty. I had my issues with the play calling of Eberflus. I said that it is time that, that somebody begin to hold somebody accountable inside of the framework of the current game. Some coattails need to be pulled. Hey, we need to get this going, whether it's professional, whether it's special teams, whether it's defense, whether it's a cornerback coach, whether it's the quarterback coach, whether it's a DB coach, the defensive line coach or the offensive line coach, whatever it is, at that point in time, somebody coattail need to be pulled to say, hey, check it. Let's get it going. He's the head coach. He's the head honcho in charge, and he got to be the one at that time to not let the game slip away. And then we come back after the game and say, well, we kicked too many field goals. No, we need to go ahead and address this during the game. We need to get back on track during the game. That's called making adjustments. And I think that the Cowboys on offense was just stepping in some areas that you really don't need to go into. Just stick with what's worked. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's just the way you look at this thing.
Again, I think the one thing we went into the Detroit game about was wanting to win first down, Todd, and we certainly weren't able to do that. But the biggest thing is sustaining blocks. I think that's what we talked to the guys about today. Actually our targeting, our identification of the front and what we were trying to do was good. We didn't sustain blocks very well, and that's where we need to be better. We need to strain to finish, and we're going to be.
We talked about Dak Prescott running for his life and the pressure that caused that INT and. The guy I can't even think of his name, man. Who had the replacement for Tyler Guyton, man. They had him on a swivel. They had him on puppets, a string all night long. So he's absolutely right as it relates to that. That need to be something that should be addressed, and hopefully I'm sure they are. Not hopefully, I'm sure they are addressing that. Because our quarterback needs to be perpendicular in order for him to be efficient and effective throwing the football to these receivers.
Challenge this week with a defense led by Coach Flores that's very multiple, and they're going to do a lot of different things. But the biggest thing I would say would be just it's the last push in the strain and the finish of getting guys covered up a little bit longer to let the backs be able to press the hole and puncture the defense.
John Michaud with The Athletic. From your perspective, your first season as the head coach, do you guys have to make the playoffs for this to be a success in your eyes?
Yeah, man, I think absolutely. But I don't think that's the only thing we're judged upon, but that's what we want. You can't sit up here and talk about winning World Championships, and if you don't make the playoff, you don't have a chance to win a World Championship. So, again, winning's the number one objective. After that, it's building the culture. There's things that as we get through the season and the season ends, which it will end at some point, we'll look back and there'll be good things and there'll be bad things. And the good things will, find ways to keep those things going, and the things that we have to correct, we'll find ways to improve them.
And then saw that Dak gave you the shiesty to wear at practice and that hard knocks. That's the first time you ever wore one?
Yeah, I didn't really like it. I couldn't breathe. Yeah, I don't know why those guys like it so much, but I thought, hey, this is the cool thing going on. Let me try it. It's kind of like the 6'7" thing a few weeks ago. I'm a hip guy, but yeah, I didn't really like it. It didn't stay on very long.
How much are you monitoring, I guess, the Hard Knocks thing when the episodes come out, or do you not really watch?
I really don't. People send me things and stuff like that. But again, I will say this. I mean, they've been great. The guys, they have a job to do. The production people have been amazing, and they kind of fit right in with. I feel like he's progressing nicely.
You guys have been alternating Tolbert and Mingo on the inactive list the last few weeks. What do you want to see from one of those?
But you don't think too much about it. So, again, kudos to them and NFL Films and HBO and everybody that puts it on.
Nick Harris, four-star Telegram. Do you expect Jadeveon Clowney to practice it?
I think so, since Clarence didn't ask about him. I think that, yes, I expect him to do some things today. He's doing a lot better, and I feel like he's progressing nicely.
You guys have been alternating Tolbert and Mingo on the inactive list the last few weeks. What do you want to see from one of those guys to be the cemented captain?
Yeah, really just kind of maximize the opportunities, kind of take it over. It's something that we kind of look at each week, and late in the week we kind of make a decision.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would prefer, because of his size, and I hope that they really look at this, because this can make this thing very, very interesting for Jonathan Mingo. It would have been nice to have Jonathan Mingo acclimated in the offense earlier. Not saying that he has not been practicing with the ones, but it would have made things a whole lot easier if they had Jonathan Mingo already acclimated, ready to go, part of the starting offense at game day. Reason why I say that is because of Jonathan Mingo's size, and Jonathan Mingo could really make it interesting for the defense, especially the defensive backs, safeties, bringing down the safeties and causing some one-on-ones with CeeDee Lamb and Pickens if they get him acclimated. He's a big body, big target, and it can make things very, very interesting for us coming down the stretch if they indeed decide to give Jonathan Mingo some reps and some time. Not to take anything away from Flournoy. I just think that Jonathan Mingo has an upside as it relates to his stature, his height, his overall makeup as a receiver, because you can plug him in the slot, and that can cause some mismatches and some issues with the defenses, especially when they want to try to double Pickens or CD. That's just my take on it, but I think that'd be a hell of an opportunity for the Cowboys to take that into consideration.
Special teams is a huge, part of that. Like our fifth receiver's not really, quite honestly, playing as much as we'd like in terms of offense and special teams. So it's the balancing act of, okay, well, who had the good week of practice on offense, and then who's can help, Nick with the special teams. And so those are the big things that we have to talk about each and every week, and it's a fun battle for us to look at each week.
You were in San Diego when Phillip Rivers came into the league, and now he's somehow finding his way back in. Just when you heard that, what were your emotions around that?
Man, he must hate coaching. He must. I don't even know how they did. I'm sure they did well, but I'm just happy for him. I mean, he loves football, man. He does, and his ability to see a football field was unique and special. And I know one thing: he can get it out of his hand pretty quick. So he might not be able to move. He really never could move. You'll probably hear that, but he never really could move. But boy, he could get that ball in his hand fast. So I'm sure he hasn't lost his quick release.
Cowboys.com. Aaron Jones, the last couple of times he's played the Cowboys, seemingly has just kind of gone to another level. What have you seen from him this season, and maybe in some of those games in the past, about what's able to make him do that?
Yeah, I mean, got very good vision, very good acceleration, but I think it's his quickness and the ability to find and get in and out of cuts and press holes, and he's kind of a slasher, Tommy, when you watch him run. And again, I just think they're running the ball really well right now. I think he's 4.6. I think Mason might be averaging 4.7 a carry. So they're certainly going to come in here and want to establish the run just because they're really running it well. But I've just been a big fan of Aaron since he got in the league with Green Bay, and he hurts you a lot of different ways, right? Catch the football out of the backfield, and very versatile player that's playing at a high level.
And you mentioned Flores. You played a lot of defenses this year. The disguise coverages blitz a lot. What makes his version of sort of that line of defense different?
They're very
Linebacker.
multiple. You can see, how he's taken the bones of the operation that he learned from Bill, in New England, and how he's put his stamp on it. What I love about Brian and what he does is, like, if you look at them last year, they're a little bit different than they are this year. They're still very multiple. Look at their roster. He has a affinity in a good way for veteran players. Why? Well, they know football. They're smart. They can be multiple. They can make adjustments. They do as good a job as anybody of what I would say automaticing formations based on if you get in a certain look, they're going to get to something specific. If you get into a different look, as simple as the back's offset in the gun and near or far, they're going to get to different things. And so you can't do that with young players. You can't. It's harder to do that with young players. Outstanding defensive mind, and he's very convicted.
Scott Erickson with the AP. First-year head coach building a program. How important is a 4-game finish, regardless of what the playoffs look like?
I think it's always important. I think, we actually talked for the first time. I always talk about, can't win the game in the first quarter, second, third, and fourth. We talked a little bit about this, and we talked about heading into this fourth quarter. Let's look at the season in that way. And I think we were 1-2-1 in the first quarter. We were 2-3 in the second, and then now in the third quarter we're 3-1. What's that mean? It means we're playing better. It means we're playing more consistent. It means we're doing things at a higher level, a higher standard. But again, Minnesota is our focus. Minnesota is my focus. But, like I said, at the end of the day, we're going to be judged on wins and losses. And so let's start by getting the first one in the fourth quarter against Minnesota.
Garrett.
Here, Odell, CBS Sports. Hey, Brian, you've been around Dak for a few years. How do you feel like you've seen him evolve with getting to answers and really, freeing himself up when he's blitzed?
Yeah, elite level. I don't think,
HBO Max
Listen,
is
we don't
available.
want to start doing this right here. Dak Prescott, man, has been playing lights out football, especially this year. He has been playing lights out football, man, and he understands football philosophy. As a quarterback, the clock going off, how long he got in the pocket, and it's just per defense. This is what a quarterback understands through film study, how much time in reality that he has playing said defense, whoever team that is or may be. Dak Prescott is at that point. So in essence, maturity in football, he's there. He is there. We talk about oftentimes when rookies come in, when they're going to hit that rookie wall, and then when they are going to be in their prime, and when they're going to hit that stride of, okay, enough of the bonehead, and I made enough mistakes throughout my career, there whereby now I'm holding myself at a level or at a standard where those mistakes cannot be tolerated, or I can't make those kind of mistakes because of where I am in my career. I think Dak Prescott is right there. I think he's right there. He understands football philosophy to the point within the X's and O's of how the game has, how he in the game has reached a level of maturity.
Comes from time. I think that comes from, we try to keep the solutions pretty simple. I'm not a guy that thinks you got to have 8 different ways to block up cover 0 or 8 different ways to handle, double-edged blitzes and things like that. I think you've got to have a handful of things that you trust and you believe in, and I think he owns those, and I think it's been evident, watching him perform versus some of the, tough looks that we get. and he has the answer, whether it's throwing hots or throwing blitz side adjust or getting to certain checks for certain coverages. But we'll certainly be tested this week with Coach Flores and this defense.
How do you feel about your offensive tackles handling Minnesota blitzes the highest rate in football after last week?
Yeah, again, it won't be just the tackles. I mean, they move a lot. They're going to be stunting and moving, and they're firing their backers a bunch. And I guess I saw the number we did talk about today, Harrison Smith. I mean, 14 years in the league. Wow. I mean, playing at a high level, had to pick last week. But again, we have to protect Dak this week, but we also have to run the football. And again, they're going to challenge you to do that because they're going to be multiple, and the coverage that they play is very vision driven. Everybody.
I really love Williams, but he has to finish. One game he played, I can't think of what game it was. Oh man, he balled. Man, he finished. Man, he ran. Man, he was just like, whoa. And maybe now he's getting some miles on him. In the course of where we are in terms of the third quarter of the season, but man, he has to. He's doing a very, very good job, 1,000-yard back this year. But he got to be. This is the time when you got to finish. You have to finish, and I mean finish runs. Because there's a whole lot more that he can impose on defenses if he finishes. And a lot of that is what I talked about in my previous video podcast is, these running backs having visions, man. They got to have a vision to, I see my peripheral, I see there's daylight there, I'm taking that there, or vice versa. And there's just a lot more that he can do, and he can finish. I mean, I played running back, and I know that, man, you can finish some runs off instead of, if you can just keep your balance, and keep your footing, you can get extra yards, or if not break a few like he did in previous games early in the season, where he broke a few. So if Williams can keep his feet, man, and finish off some of these runs, man, he'll be all right.
He kind of wants to keep eyes on the quarterback, and because of that, there's certain things that they make more difficult than others, but there's also things that we feel like we can take advantage of.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. When CeeDee Lamb went out, did you guys challenge Flo to be like, hey, time to step up, or how did you see him kind of respond?
No, you never have to worry about Flo, Joe. I mean, he's always ready. He's earned his stripes, per se. I mean, it wasn't just the Jets. He's done it multiple times. I just think, again, me and my word consistency, I think that's what's so cool is how well he's playing each and every week. I mean, he's played good the last couple of weeks, even though he didn't put up 120 yards or whatever it was. He's played well the last couple of weeks, and I think his star is on the rise. You talk about a guy that's big, strong, physical, good with the ball in his hands, loves contact. Guys like that, sign me up for. I'll take them any day of the week.
The Vikings lead the league in interceptions thrown. A guy like Treyvon obviously has had a history of making interceptions, one this year. How much of a potential opportunities for a guy like him, especially to build his confidence and maybe trying to get his hands on the ball this week?
Well, again, I think it starts with our ability to stop the run first. You got to make them have to throw it. JJ obviously very comfortable last week. I thought one of his better games, and certainly didn't have any interceptions. But again, we've talked a little bit about it. It starts by affecting the passer. You got to get people around him, one, and then again when the ball's up, you got to be able to find ways to get it turned over, and that's where again, our biggest issue right now as a football team is the giveaway takeaway ratio. Us not protecting on offense and us not taking it away on defense.
Shotty, The Athletic. Brian, what's your philosophy on fourth downs in terms of going for it? Is it a mathematical decision? Is it how much is
definitely talk about that?
And how many people are you consulting to make that decision?
Yeah, it's instincts. We'll have a plan side going into games, based on who you're playing, where you're playing. But a lot of it is instincts and your gut feel. I talk to Feeder a ton, and we kind of have a plan going in. Those plans can change, but at the end of the day, you kind of have an idea, when the drive's going, hey, if we get to a certain number, if it's 4th and 2 or less, let's say, hey, we're thinking go for it. And then you
See,
kind of
I
get your
gotta-
call and you're like, yeah, I'm good. And then there's sometimes
I got an issue with that, man. Primarily, more 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Man, 4th and 3, 4th and 4 inside the 20-yard line or in the 15-yard line. Hey, man, you got to go for it. This playoff football is in the words, and I can't think of my little man I miss him in the NBA playoffs, man. It's either win or go home. Period. Win or go home. And that's just the bottom line. We need to start looking at these games, man, and trying to get in the position to play in like the NBA. I wish we had play-ins in the National Football League. But this is what we got to start looking at it as, man, win or go home. Because, other teams, man, are like, look, I tell you what, Shanahan, 4th and 3, Shanahan going for it, man. And that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to playing these games late in the season like this in December and trying to get into January. Man, you gotta have that edge. You gotta let your team know, man, I'm with you. We got this edge. We believe that we can get it done and get it done. It's no shade on Shotty, but at the end of the day, hey man, this is your first season as a head coach, and think about it. A lot of new coaches that come into the league have success in the league their first year, and that's because a lot of teams don't know what you're doing. This is the time to use that to your advantage to get where you want to be, or get where the fans would like to, and your team would like to, your ownership would like to be. You know what I'm saying? Deep into the playoffs. So this is the time when you got to start saying, you know what, man, it's 4th and 3. We going for it inside the 20. We going for it. 3 points is cool, but 7 points wins games. I mean, especially big games, because it takes big kahunas for a coach to believe in his squad. You got your quarterback running to the sideline saying, man, go for it. What are we doing? Go for it. Listen to your quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Ferguson has made some mistakes, and yeah, he was penalized wrongfully. But in key situations, man, he comes up in that situation and catch the ball for the first down. You got to go for it, man. You see how the defense is spent. You see how the defensive coordinator is running our defense. I mean, you can't put it all on the defense that late. Defense was spent second half. So, I understand 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Hey, man, 4th and 3, 4th and 4, man, sometimes you got to go for it. I'm sorry. You got to go for it. Get mad all you want to, whatever. Whoever watching, get mad if you want to. But, man, you got to go for it, man. This playoff football, and we want to get there. Hook or crook.
You're like, no, I don't feel great about this call. But it's a little bit of both, But, again, I would say it's a lot of instincts, a lot of pre-planning, preparation, and then, me and feet.
But, and with that also, with that also, you got to believe in who you has as the captain of your ship. Dak Prescott is the captain. You got to have a belief in him. You can't believe in him on one side, but then you don't believe him on the other side. You can't believe in him from the 10 or the 20 to the 30, their 20, our 30, and then when you get to our 20, you don't believe. Man, you got to believe this dude can get this dude. You called him the old man that dove in the end zone for a touchdown. If you believe in him then, believe in him now. That's just the way we are, man. We win together, we lose together. But at the end of the day, did you put forth your best effort to win the ball game? 4th and 4 before 4th and 3, these 4th down conversions, I say you have not. I say I'm not throwing any shade at Shotty. I'm just saying, more times than not in the playoffs, man, you got to go for it. Because if the team is steady putting up 7 points and you only giving 3, we ain't got but so many chances to catch up. And we saw that last game. I think we was in striking distance 2 times when they were 3 points ahead of us. And when we kicked the field goal, or when we punted, and they got the ball back, what happened? They scored again. So we got to have that mentality going into these games, man, understanding the situation. If our defense is spent, we need to take advantage more and more, if not more, on offense to score.
You're just kind of having quick conversations.
And how much does kind of the flow of the game in terms of if the offense is doing well, defense is doing well, how much does that play into the decision as well?
A little bit. I'd be lying if I said it doesn't factor in at times. But you try to be pretty consistent and go with the plan and go with those things we talked about, the measures of, hey, field position matters. It might be a little bit longer at the 40-yard or a little shorter at the inside the 15. But I'd be lying if I said you're not at times adjusting or reacting to situations.
Wait a minute, wait. We saw something. I saw something. Reacting or adjusting to situations. I would be remiss if I did not believe that he was talking about the defense or the defensive coordinator. Ladies and gentlemen, if it is my understanding from what he just said there, that if we don't get to where we would like to be this year, then you can kiss Eberflus goodbye in the off season. That's what I got from that right there. But it still makes my argument that knowing that, you got to go for it. You have to. You're inside the 20-yard line, man. You got to go for it. Make them drive the length of the field, and for that matter, to see if they can score. Because the way the game was going last week, guess what? You'd have been better off because they've been getting the ball at the 40-yard line and beyond all game. The special teams have been giving up 100 yards, gave up over 100 yards last game. Let that sink in for a minute. So you should have just went for it.
In having a conversation with Tyler Booker and Cooper Beebe, Coop was really candid about the Detroit game and the protection issues. But something that stood out was him saying that you guys were trying to figure out why you had a lack of energy, a lack of juice in that Detroit game. Don't know how much of that was the fact that you played 4 games in 17 days, but how can you guard against that and coming out flat against the Vikings, especially as you guys try to figure out how to get off
Very, very good question, because I said the same thing in my previous podcast, that the Cowboys, this game must, it's no exceptions, they must come out fast. They must start fast. So that's a very good question to find out if they are going to come out flat. They cannot afford to come out flat this game. They got to come out with all guns blazing and starting off fast, man. They got to.
Again, I think, I would agree. I didn't think we had our best day overall. I think, were we tired? I don't know. I mean, we had to play a lot of games, but at the end of the day, I believe in this group of young men. I believe in the fact that we are an energetic group. You can't watch our sidelines and not know that there's not juice and energy and guys cheering for the other side of the ball and things like that. And I'm not going to let one game after a tight window of time affect the way I look at it. And in terms of worried about these guys and their ability to come out without a lot of energy this game, I think it's, in my opinion, 0%. And we do need to start faster. We've kind of looked at some things, and we need to score more points early on and get more stops early on. And we've got an idea of how we think we can do that, but now we have to go out and execute it.
Good answer, Shotty.
Shotty has become a target for people looking for what's wrong with the run defense. What do you like about him? What has he done well? And also, what does Logan need to do to get more opportunities?
Yeah. Now, see, listen. Now it's now Clarence be on some stuff. He be on some things now. Once again, in my previous podcast, I was in question about why isn't Logan getting more opportunities? Why is he not on the football field? Because I know he can be disruptive. I know that he can disrupt the flow of the opposing offense where the tight end may be getting first downs or the running back may be getting too many yards up the middle and our front four is getting gasped. That's where the linebacker steps in. But there's some too many plays where I'm like, where's Logan? We got Logan to clog the run. We got Logan to put the tight end in check. We got Logan to spy on the quarterback. I mean, what we doing? So, I mean, Clarence be on one a whole bunch of times. He be on one, but he asked a good question right
here. We're adding depth, right? Getting better. K9, I love his physicality, man. I love the fact that he can run and hit, and we've talked a little bit at times about his eye progression and seeing things like that. Logan's been here a couple weeks, and I think both guys give us, a chance to play well and win. And again, to the naked eye, sometimes you look at things and you're like, oh, it's that guy's fault, or it's this guy's fault, or oh, that was Shotty's problem, or whatever. And that's what we sign up for. But at the same time, it's not always what it appears to be on film. And so what we need to do from a defensive standpoint is get back to playing the way that we were against Philadelphia late, Kansas City for the most part throughout the game, in Las Vegas. And that's not just about one guy. That's about all 11 guys doing right and communicating and things like that. And I do like the competition that we've created in that room, though. Yeah.
Andrew Van Ginkel is one of the best screen defenders in the NFL. What makes him such a pest in that specific situation, and how do you prep for something like that so you can keep it in the playbook?
Yeah, he's just an excellent football player, man. Great instincts, really good blitzer, great feel for coverage, very disruptive. You can't watch the film without seeing him tip balls and intercept balls, and this group does a nice job. Again, they're veterans, right? So they know if they can't get to the quarterback, they kind of stop and wait. And you have to be very careful when you're trying to throw quick screens around him because he's pretty slippery. But I've always really appreciated the guy for the type of football player that he is. And we played him a couple years back when he was with Miami, and same thing, extremely disruptive. But seriously, look at their roster. Look at the defensive roster and how many veterans they have, whether it's Allen, Hargrove, Renard, Van Ginkel, Murphy. They have a type, and I understand.
Alrighty.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so that's Shotty to Hotty, man. Giving us the insight in terms of not so much as the Cowboys' strategy moving forward to play the Vikings, but he's given us an overall scope of what he expects. He's given us a scope of what he expects the team to come out, how he expects the team to come out and play. He's given us a breakdown on what happened schematically on defense and offense, and in terms of the blocking on offense, in terms of the lack of communication on defense. Overall, I appreciate the questioning for the most part. I appreciate the answers that I've gotten, because I've been saying a lot of this stuff in my former podcast. But we will see how this team is going to come out and play moving into this Vikings game Sunday night. I'm optimistic that CeeDee Lamb is going to play. I believe that Guyton is going to play this game. Murray, I'm hoping that Murray is going to play. Let's just hope that Logan gets more playing time. So I think overall, and now let me even say this. I believe that Diggs is going to play this game. I know. I said that before the last game. And he was scheduled to play against the Lions. But there's something there with what Shotty was talking about or alluding to. I think that Diggs will get his shot. to see if he can cope and coexist. And I hate to use this term because I can't stand it. The go along to get along. I think that will be the case for Diggs. But hey, at the end of the day, we will see. We'll see exactly how this thing shapes up with with the Cowboys and Diggs, man. Let's take a look and see what my boy is talking about, because he has to, like I was talking about, finish, and we're talking about Javonte. Let's see what Javonte got to
How can
say.
you guard against coming out flat in the game that you got to have against Minnesota?
Yeah, we just got to correct the mistakes. Try to execute early, like you said. Just come out playing on fire. Whoever go out there first, make a play, and then turn the other side up.
Is there anything that you guys have kind of pinpointed as to why you struggled getting off to a fast start?
Yeah, there's nothing that we really pinpointed on. It's just we got to come out ready to go, ready to execute. Like you said, just start a little bit faster. And I feel like that's just on our preparation and mentality going into the game.
The red zone issues kind of reared their head this past week against the Lions. Shotty talked about it. What have y'all put into the prep portion of red zone work this week?
Yeah, no, we're not switching nothing up. We just got to execute better. I feel like just communication between us, the O-line, tight ends. As far as pass protection, it was kind of off in the Detroit game, but we just got to get back on track and play our game.
Speaking of pass protection, Brian Flores, there was a lot of different blitz packages at opposing offenses as a pass protecting running back. What kind of prep does that entail for you?
Yeah, just go back to the basics. Stick to the fundamentals. Don't try to be Superman or anything like that. Just do my job.
Their blitz schemes also really disguise a lot too. I mean, how much does that kind of create an extra layer, like on field, of like, hey, I got to make sure I'm on my P's and Q's?
Yeah, it all just come back down to communication. I mean, as long as the O-line know who they're going to, we pretty much got everybody up. So as long as we communicate, I feel like we'll be all right. And it's a home game, so it shouldn't be too loud.
Were you watching the Chargers and Eagles? Did you find yourself cheering at the end of that, or?
Oh yeah, for sure. I want to Chargers.
Yes, sir.
Every game from here on out.
And with the Chargers getting that win, now you guys are only a game and a half back. You still have 4 games to play. Just talk about the importance, though, of staying in the moment each week going forward.
Yeah, we just gotta take it one game at a time. Try not to focus too much on what's going on outside. We put ourselves in a tough position, but I mean, we just gotta win all our games, execute, and maybe hopefully we get in.
Sean, how do you get the running game efficiency back up?
Yeah, just execution, just playing our game. I mean, opening up the passing game also. Get those guys going. I feel like it might lighten the box, things like that. So, yeah, just play our game.
Have you noticed that they have been more in the box here against y'all, or should I talk about sustaining blocks a little bit longer, training, finish, stuff like that?
Yeah, it all play a part because, I mean, they might be overloading the box, then motion, somebody bump out or something like that. So, I mean, it just really all comes back down to execution, just playing our game, not worrying about who we're playing against or their record or anything like that, just playing our game.
Hotty, this has been your heaviest workload in the NFL so far. How is your body holding up, and do you feel any different than you have years past when you get to this point in the season?
That's a good question.
This around the time where you start to feel everything, but I mean, I feel pretty good. Other than just soreness, it'll probably be gone by Saturday or Sunday, so I feel like I'm alright.
Obviously, CeeDee Lamb makes a huge impact on this offense. Even if there's 3 games without him, after he got banged up in Chicago, what have you learned this season about just how much he changes what you guys are capable of?
Yeah, I mean, I always knew he was a playmaker, but just having him on the field, his energy, and just another superstar on the field. We got a lot of them on offense, so we just got to keep finding ways to get him the ball and spreading it up.
You came from health-wise and all that, getting to a little bit over 1,000 yards. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, just a testament to my hard work. I've been working for that for a long time, so just to finally get it, I mean, it feels good, but we still got a whole lot of football left to play.
Shotty's best trait?
Probably just his energy, his character. He always genuine. Always got a smile on his face no matter what's going on. He gonna bring positivity. So, I mean, we needed that after the game we just played.
We're seeing in Hard Knocks a little bit behind the scenes of how he is in team meetings. How would you describe him in team meetings?
Yeah, just energetic. I mean, everybody tired coming in the morning. We know it's gonna be another long day, but just him coming in, getting us excited, playing basketball, things like that, it make you want to actually come in the building.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
All right, so that was Javonte Williams, man. You know, and listen, I'm not gonna put it all on Javonte Williams in terms of why the Cowboys running game has been, you know, lacking for the past week or so. I think it's just, you know, getting out of the element of the game plan. And this again is on head coaches. You know, you can't be too cute and too sexy this time of the year. You got to know where you're going. You got to know what you have. You would never see when they was winning championships, Kansas City Chiefs going out of their element and trying to be too sexy. Their offense was, we run the football. Patrick Mahomes going to throw the football, and he's going to be precise, but he's also a magician in terms of his delivering of the football to spread it out to the receivers. They had a very good method in terms of how they were going to punish you, you know. And this is the same thing the Cowboys have to do. Once you find your identity, once you have the recipe of success, yes, of course, you're probably going to add a few things here and there. You're probably going to add a play or two here and there. But overall, your identity is your identity. Okay? Your identity and what you do well and how you are winning these games, that's really not going to change, you know. But, you know, of course, you know, in the course of how the games play out, you know, you make adjustments here and there in terms of what either the offense or the defense is doing. But overall, you're not changing or being too cute and too sexy that you lose your identity in the scope of the game. That's on coaching. That's on coaching. So, you know, understanding where Javonte Williams is with his body, his mental, getting ready for this next stretch, I think based on his answers and the questions, man, for what was asked about him personally, his body, I'm glad to know that he understands that, you know, the frame of work that he has put in from the time that he has been in the NFL has built him for this moment to be 1,000-yard back. Kudos to him for recognizing that, and let's see if he has that bounce in his step moving forward to this Miami Vikings game Sunday night. Kenny Clark.
Not having as much juice or the edge as you had in the previous games against the Chiefs and the Eagles, and just how can you guard against that going into the Minnesota game?
I think we played with good juice and like play style. I just think that we had like a lot of timely errors in the game. I think we played the run for the most part.
Look, man, I hate to say I'm a guru to some of this stuff, but I just know some of this stuff. I mentioned about the timing and the scheme. Again, once you begin to play around and try to be too sexy and too cute, that's how players end up losing rhythm. That's how players end up not being effective. That's when players are not balanced. That's when players lose their timing. That's when players lose a step and they get off. Let the player be a player. Let the player do what he do best. Let Quentin go. You know, let these boys eat. Man, let's get back. Boy, this is all right.
Pretty good. You know, we was physical at the point of attack and everything. I just think, you know, as the game went on or whether they got a long drive or got into the red zone or whatever, we just made, you know, timely mistakes that, you know, you can't make against a good team. We're great teams.
And how do you guys prevent, because Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the things that the Lions did effectively last week was getting him out in space. How do you guys guard against that as a defense as far as keeping those playmakers from getting those yards after they get the ball in space?
Yeah, it started with just understanding, you know, how the offense is trying to attack you. And then whenever the guy does catch the ball, just cupping the ball, defensive line, make sure we're running out the stack and you know, getting the runner down. And then everybody that's pursuing, just cupping the ball. You know, so you don't have a really escape lane and just taking space.
You've been on the other side of Aaron Jones'
alongside big names against the Cowboys. What's it going to be to face your former teammate here?
Man, it's gonna be great, man. I'm always excited to play him. You know, he gets a lot of. He's from out this way, so he get a lot of energy. You know, coming to play the Cowboys. But yeah, I'm excited to play him. You know, great player. A guy that I've been having a lot of respect for years. And yeah, just great player. Got a lot of respect. So excited to go against him.
You know, also keep in mind, you know, Minnesota is relatively in the same division as Green Bay, and so you know Kenny Clark know these guys. He knows the tendencies. He knows the players. He knows their scheme. He knows what they are capable of doing, what they are about to do. So he is able to detect, being as smart as he is as a defender, what the offense is going to be up to, especially schematically and offensive schemes and packages. So you look for Kenny Clark to really be an asset in this game against Minnesota, this go around, since he's now a Dallas Cowboy. Check it out. It might be pivotal that the Cowboys have him.
Kenny, Shotty said earlier today that the turnover margin, that's the biggest statistical issue for this team right now. You're taking the ball away. How big of a focus is that at this point?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I think a lot of those errors, we can make up for them with turnovers. You know, just not having long drives and all that kind of stuff. So if we can get more turnovers, you know, that's just gonna help the team get the ball back to floor and they do their thing.
Does that show up a lot in practice? Is there a lot of emphasis on that right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's been like that all year. Just punching at the ball, getting interceptions, ripping at the ball, all that kind of stuff. It's been huge. I mean, we talk about it every single day. We got to just keep doing it, and it'll happen eventually.
What you've seen on tape is McCarthy a quarterback is hard to bring down. Or, I don't know from what you've seen on tape so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's hard to bring down. I mean, he's elusive. I mean, he's one of those guys that's, you know, he's kind of sneaky elusive. You know, he can duck and, you know, and hide behind the offensive lineman and spurt out into space and make plays. So I mean, we got to just make sure, you know, it's all hands on deck with him and getting him on the ground, push the pocket, and get the guys in front of him.
Was the pressure to y'all liking? I mean, we always talk about sacks, but it's more about pressure sometimes.
Yeah.
Was the pressures in that game against Detroit to you guys?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought we rushed them well and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, it was a lot of big plays that they made, a lot of timely mistakes. We didn't do a good enough job in the red zone. As far as just rushing the passer and stopping the run, I think we did a pretty solid job doing that.
What are your thoughts? You have to go against the Vikings twice a year. I mean, like, Hotty gets an injury last year. Offense and the kind of stress.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for.
You know, Jadeveon Clowney is going to be more than likely playing this game. I will say this, that Jadeveon Clowney has been picking it up. He's been coming around a little more and more each game that he has. I would say he has progressed a lot more than he had before he actually, you know, got into the games to get acclimated. But I will say this, that he was sorely missed in that Detroit game. He was sorely missed in that Detroit game. And I know the little things do matter in a lot of cases, but I think that he was sorely missed, especially as it relates to, you know, you got these boys double teamed, and then they're adding 70 in there, big 70 in there. When you gotta worry about a Clowney coming off the edge, that makes for your Kenny Clarks and your Quinnen or your Digizuas to get home to, you know, these quarterbacks. So I suspect this game that it's going to be a whole lot different. We do know the Cowboys is not going to tell the Minnesota Vikings what they're going to do, what they're up to, what their schemes are, what the game plan is. They're not going to do that. But I will tell you that more than likely the Dallas Cowboys are going to be hitting home on Minnesota come Sunday night. Trust and believe.
For Coach O'Connell, I mean, he does a great job of just switching the looks. getting them into different, personnel groupings. They use CJ Ham. They use him well in the running game and all that kind of stuff. So we got to make sure we got all hands on deck with those running backs. Morgan and Aaron, they do a great job of cutting the ball back and all that kind of stuff. So we got to be fighting at the point of attack and knock the line of scrimmage back.
It was kind of unusual. I mean, there aren't that many really good versatile fullbacks in the league. It seems like.
Yeah, no, he's a great fullback. He's a great fullback, and he has a lot of plays out there. They run a lot of 21, a lot of 22, and all that kind of stuff. So it just shows the confidence that they got in him to have him out there.
What do you see on tape from these, like this worst quarterback in the league this year?
Yeah, I don't really know about his statistics, but I just know from our standpoint, we got to get after him however we can. They're gonna play action us. They're gonna max protect, do everything they can to protect. And as a defensive line, we gotta do our job and get after them.
Kenny, so many ups and downs this season. I hear you guys are 4 games left, game and a half back of the Eagles. What's the feeling about that part?
Man, just taking it week after week. I mean, week to week.
That's right.
Everything is still in front of us, and we know that. But the only thing that we can do is win Sunday.
Along those same lines, with the playoff spot still being there, how important is this 4-game finish for you, for the team, going forward next year?
I think it's huge. I think we all trying to establish something, establish a culture, finish strong. Just doing the right things, and doing them right all the time. And if we are who we say we are, we gotta just keep playing, finish out the season, and see what happens at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. Was there a moment?
So, it's good that the players have that mindset. The coaches are letting these guys express themselves to us about how they feel, and we can see them to differentiate whether or not it's flawed or it's an act or they're faking. Now they ain't faking. The Cowboys understand what's at hand, and to have that mentality of next game, not looking ahead, to prepare for only the next game, because it is right now win or go home. And I think they understand that mentality of recognizing we lose this game and our season is toast. We have to win out. We have to. And the thing about it is, it's not that much pressure than what you put on yourself. It's just knowing that you got the players to do it. You got the players. You have the players in the building to get it done. Now all you got to do is execute. Execute and get it done. Execute and get it done. Got a tape on Treyvon Diggs. Share with y'all tomorrow. I like the direction of the Cowboys. I'm glad we got this game, because I've said this time and time again. Every team, when they're trying to make a push, need a certain game to prepare them mentally for that next grind. Every team, it's just like I work almost 16 hours a day, 12 to 16 hours a day. And we need that 8 hours sleep in order to get back up. Now, I'm about to go now. We need this 8 hours sleep to get up, to perform, to get on the grind, to tackle another 12 or 16 hour day. So it's the same thing with these teams. These teams need to see a team that, I hate to say it, that's licking their wound and they're easy prey. Yeah. This is one of them games. I said that before about the Raiders. I'm saying it again about the Minnesota Vikings. Every team need that. That one team. that can push them into the direction that they need to go. So let's just get ready for what the Cowboys have in store. Update is coming for CD Lamb. CD Lamb is in a very, very, very good frame of mind, both physically and mentally and physically. He's getting there, and I suspect he'll be playing Sunday night. Hey, listen, man. This has been a real one. Let's do it again tomorrow. Booyah. Same place, same time, same channel. How about them Cowboys? Roadstar Sports. Subscribe to the channel. Definitely like the content. See y'all in the AM or on the PM. And me, I got to work in the AM. But I see you on the PM. Flip side. Peace. Ooh.